That's an oldie but a goodie. All right, here's the show. Everyone, pack your bags and get ready. It is time, and it begins. Whoops, there we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I just got done eating dinner. I forgot to show it to you. I'm sorry.
I've got cops.
The Morning Stream, because knowing is half the battle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. It is June 11th, 2019. Scott Johnson here. Brian Ibbett there. Good morning.
Hello, Scott.
Hi.
Hello. Happy, almost the middle of June to you.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already... It feels like Wednesday or Thursday to me. And I think it's because I've been covering all these streams. And
exactly. You've been doing so much recording with the E3 stuff that usually you don't do this much podcasting until the middle or the end of the week.
yeah, this is true. This is all time's all warped and weird, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, we're here early again. Hi, everybody who came in early. It's nice to see you all. Decent amount of people coming in an hour early, but this is the last time we're gonna have to do it. Tomorrow, back to the normal time. Everything will be normal. Today, the Nintendo conference or video direct thing is what made us have to go early, and then I'm done. No more of that.
And I'm wondering how much more they're going to announce, because they did all that Pokemon stuff that they announced last week. So I'm thinking that anything that I care about Pokemon wise, they're done talking about.
Yeah, probably. Pokemon wise, yes, I'll bet. Because I don't know what else they would show or say, but I think there's a chance we see an Animal Crossing proper game. Mm-hmm. There's a chance they'll finally show something from that Metroid game they announced like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, right.
They might show more of the new Mario Maker, which is pretty exciting. That's a rad game. So there'll be stuff to see, but yeah, I think they're Pokemon'd out. In fact, I think they did that just so they could clear the slate and say, all right, we got all the Pokemon out. Everybody knows what's happening with the Pocket Monsters.
Right. Yeah.
Now we can focus on whatever the hell else they're doing between now and next year. So we'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see how it goes. The best part of the last few days is how tired Patrick's been. He has been exhausted.
I listened to that, so I was tuned in on the keynote last night that you guys were following, 7:00. I made Tina watch that. It was like, oh, they're going to be talking about the new Avengers game. Oh, well, how long do you think it'll be? Like, oh, these things usually like an hour maybe. And it was an hour until they even got to the Avengers stuff.
Yeah. And then, and we'll talk about it right now. Why not?
Yeah.
They didn't show how the game plays. They showed some stuff that looked like in-game stuff, and that's cool. Right, they showed some rendery things, and that's cool.
Cutscenes. Yeah.
That's fine. They hint at the idea that, hey, me and 3 other people can hop in and all pick an Avenger and go.
That really was the only part of this that I was like, okay, I kind of like the idea of that, of like, hopping on a little Avengers thing with you and a couple other, of our gamer brethren, and playing some Avengers. It's gonna be like, which character is gonna be the McCree, or the what does everyone want to play in Overwatch? Oh my God, it's like we're playing with 5 tracers or something like that.
Yeah, because I assume and there's the other thing. They keep saying, "Oh, this is gonna be a long life game. We're gonna support it for years," and then they said, "We'll add new heroes to it." And I'm like, "Oh, interesting. So what is the end game then? Like, is it just all you've talked about is this campaign?"
You keep saying the end game. You did it last night on the stream, like, the end game.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even I wasn't even saying it ironically, but like, what are you going to do after you do that campaign? Are you just gonna go blow stuff up for no reason? Like, what's your deal?
Here's my guess: is that the campaign. The campaign is either going to be, soloable or doable with friends, but then you're going to have repeatable, the Avengers take on the Abomination and the Sinister Six or something like that, or Doctor Doom and his minions or things like that, and repeatable levels that you do.
So it's basically Destiny is what we're describing here. They're going to make a Destiny game.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. Right.
Yeah.
That's a good.
They'll have raids. They'll have things like strikes or dungeons. They'll have.
Right, and they'll probably introduce new battles and say, okay, now we're gonna have the Civil War release, and it's gonna be your team against another team of 4, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I doubt it'll ever be PvP though. It'll be like,
Yeah, probably
You know,
not. It'll probably exactly an
PvE.
AI set of evil doppelgangers from another dimension.
yeah. I would be shocked if it wasn't basically the Destiny sort of structure. So
Sure,
that's
that
what they'll do, and that's fine. That sounds great. I'm into it. I just, what they showed though didn't make me think they were very done with it, because it
No.
looked beautiful, but that's all rendered stuff. That's like, fancy.
Yeah. They've had 2 years. They've been teasing this thing since 2017. I remember the first video coming out,
Yeah.
and I was actually still doing the From the Helicarrier show when this thing first got announced. We're like, oh, that's going to be our next game. And they've had 2 years to put something together. I'm kind of a little underwhelmed by what they showed. I mean, I
Yeah.
like the concept,
Sure.
and I'm all into some good Marvel, and I'm certainly in for an original story. That's cool.
Mhm.
But
Good actors in there. Everybody's good. I'm into it.
yeah, it's great voice actor talent. Jeez, that's quite you got Nathan in there, man.
Yeah. Nathan Drake in there, all up in
Nathan
it.
Drake.
Who's he? He's Tony Stark in it. Yes.
Thought he was Thor. No?
Maybe. Now
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
can't
Now I don't remember.
I just remember that the lady is doing the Black Widow.
Oh no, what's his name from? Yeah. So she's Jaina Proudmoore normally.
She's Jaina. Okay.
So she's doing Black Widow. I forget the guy next to her. He's also in Critical Role every week. I forgot his name. Anyway, that big guy I think is Thor.
Okay.
Bruce Banner is what's his name? Now my brain's going dead. But Nolan North is playing. I think he's playing Tony. I think is the way it's going.
Okay.
Anyway, you couldn't ask for a better group of voice talent. So all of that's on board. You got amazing sort of rendered out story cutscenes. That looks good. But what am I actually freaking doing in the game?
Do you think, and it's funny because, again, like I said, they've been working on this for a couple of years. Do you think that Endgame came out and they're like, well, crap, we kind of had the 5 years later, and, and the city is decimated, and we've just got a handful of...
Well, there were some similarities, right? And I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But then I thought,
Yeah.
well, this is supposedly a constant collaboration with Marvel Studios. So they would know, I would think, well in
Yeah, but no,
advance.
I bet you they didn't. I mean, I bet you that Marvel Studios kept the plot of Infinity War and Endgame under such tight wraps that even they didn't know about it, and probably were just as taken back, like, wow, okay, we've got a major character dying in in this game, and we've got 5 years later kind of stuff, and
Oh yeah, no, there are
So-
some similar themes going on for
yeah,
sure.
I'm guessing that they didn't. I'm guessing that they didn't know.
If they didn't
because that's
know-
a lot of people.
they-
Crystal Dynamics.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Crystal Dynamics seems like a large group that keeping everybody under wraps. And what if somebody quits and all that stuff?
No,
It
that's
seems
a
like
really
too-
good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. But if Marvel Studios knew what was coming and then also knew what the team was working on, you'd think they would at least say to them,
Regarding your idea for your game, let's just say maybe you want to come up with something a little different. How much work would be involved in going back to the drawing board and coming up with a new idea?
Yeah.
Maybe one that's a little less 5 years latery.
yeah, and they're all like, well, Mr. Feige, we're pretty far ahead. We've gone real far in this. We don't know what to do. Well, all right, I guess we'll just let it be what it is. So we'll see. I don't know. The other problem is Square Enix is weird. It's a weird publisher now. They don't have near the Western titles they used to push. So they had a few things, but very little to show on that front. And it was all otherwise very Final Fantasy and we're bringing over weird Square RPGs that no one's seen since the NES days. We're bringing those to America finally and things like that. It's a weird publisher now. So to have the Avengers coming out of that publisher is strange. Mm-hmm. Crystal Dynamics, on the other hand, though, is a great developer and can be counted on. So I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. At the end of the day, it's a game that will be hopefully rad, and we all play it. And there you go.
I also can't hear Crystal Dynamics and not think of Better Off Ted and Viridian Dynamics. It just feels like such a made up name. Oh, I work for Crystal Dynamics. Oh, okay. What do you do? Whatever it sounds like we do.
Here at Crystal Dynamics, we make sure. Yeah, no, you're totally right. So this is the studio responsible for all the Tomb Raider stuff. And they also did, prior to that, do you remember the Legacy of Kain games and like
I remember the name. Never played any of them, but...
what was that called? This follow-ups to them were really good. Anyway, PS2 era stuff. And then they made Gex for the 3DO back in the day. Gex. Which was Dana Gould running around as a lizard, a gecko, doing his business, trying to be Mario, basically. So
right. Okay.
That was a thing. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I'm all kinds of mixed feelings about the C3 generally.
Yeah.
It's an odd year. I realize that, like everybody's saying, oh, well, next year's going to be lit because that'll be new hardware, new announced. We'll know what the Xbox next and the PlayStation next and all that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, okay. But that was kind of supposed to be this year. Like, this was supposed to be the year Microsoft got up and said, here's our new box. Instead, they got up and said, here's 50 people in a video telling you how cool the new box will be, but we're not going to say what it is or what it looks like, but we're working on one. It's going to be rad. Like, that bummed me out. So it just feels like one of those years where, Metzen may as well get up and do a Geek Is speech and tell us all to go home. So.
Hey, but that, what was I going to say? That roller derby game looked like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, you can download and play that right now.
Yeah, I watched you play a little bit of that. That did look fun.
It's really fun. Like, I mean, you have to. Here's the thing I would say about it. It's going to take people about a match or a match and a half for the controls to kick in or have you intuitively go, oh, okay, this is the flow. Like, this is where I need to be and what I'm doing. Once you get that, super fun. Like, if you watch that video of me, you kind of see the moment it kicks in for me, and I go, oh, okay, and then it's very competitive. It feels like some kind of combo of Rocket League and maybe hockey or something. That's the feeling of it anyway, but it's this like oval rink and everybody's rolling around that thing in any direction, trying to take the ball to the hoop or to the goal, but you got to get past these starting lines at least once to get 1 point, and you can go up to 5 laps to get 5 points or whatever it is. Or maybe it's 3 laps get you 5 points or something like that.
Okay. All right.
But you risk getting tackled more because you have to do these laps, and the opposition is just ready to just smear the queer, right? Oh, that's an old game. I shouldn't say smear the queer. Sorry. When we were kids, we called it that.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Right. Oh my God, I'd forgotten about that game.
We didn't know. Okay, we were dumb and stupid, and the name stuck.
Beat the tar out of the person carrying the ball.
Yes. Trying to not have that be a thing in my life, but there it was. I said it. But anyway, so. And then you get this, you have to aim this ball into this hoop, so there's still a little bit of skill on that front. Meanwhile, people are trying to tackle you out of it. It's very intense. Like, I could see that being huge when it comes out. So it's free right now. People should go get it. It's just an alpha. It's like a test.
Yeah.
But it's available on Uplay on PCs, and it's very cool. I could see that being a big deal for them, so I'm excited about it.
For sure.
Actually, of all of the conferences, Ubisoft was my favorite. They usually are. So maybe I'm biased or something, but they're just actively working on so many things, including improving existing things, that I just feel like there's an energy there that sets them aside from everybody else. It's an odd thing, but I think Ubisoft is just sort of killing it right now. So I really like them. Anyway,
cool.
If you want to catch all this coverage and you want to hear us talk at length and do commentary over the top of these things, all of it. Many hours of it is available on either the Core or the Boop Show feeds, or manually playable on the page or the YouTube videos. Like, all of it's there. You just got to go to frogpants.com and click on one of those two shows, or go to the blog and you'll see the page. It's just right there.
Nice. And how many of those feature a very tired and cranky Patrick? I guess just one. Just the one last night.
Thankfully, at least 2, because the earlier one in the afternoon, you could tell he was starting to dip. It was like,
oh, really? Okay.
He was pretty tired. And he's got a baby, right? So he's got to get up and take care of the kid and everything. So he is exquisitely cranky when he's tired. It's fantastic.
It's great.
It really is, because there's an honesty to it.
Yes, but it's
And-
also still a very polite
Yes.
Patrick. Scott, stop talking. I'm trying to hear the cutscene for Avengers.
Yeah, he'll just
Stop
say
it! Stop it!
He'll say things like, I love it. He'll say things like, I'm trying to think. I can't think of a good one, but he'll get very articulate in his sarcasm when he's tired.
Right, you totally
Yeah.
will. Yes,
I love that. So if you want to hear a bunch of that, we put it all up there for you. And today it continues right after this show, like literally right after this show. We'll do Nintendo today. So there you go. All right. Anything else happening in your world? You did a lift today, but nothing crazy
Did a
happened.
lift this morning. You know, I haven't had any crazy passengers for the most part. I had I've had a couple situations I was like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting, but certainly nothing worth bringing up on the show. But it's mostly been me just figuring out the whole lift infrastructure. I'm still wrestling with all right, well, I'll do a really quick explanation here. I've got 107,062 songs in my iTunes playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Or not playlist, iTunes. Once you hit over 100,000, you can't create playlists in iTunes that automatically transfer to your iPhone. And that's what I want to do is I want to create some playlists, boom, have them on my desktop, and then have them go onto my phone. It'll be stuff like, here's my acoustic set for like rides before 10 a.m. Feel good in acoustic. And then here's my classic rock set when I'm picking up some bros or what I've, if I'm taking a bunch of Rainbow Afro people to the club, that I can play this EDM set or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to get my my library down below 100,000 so that I can start transferring stuff. And so I've been trying to get that cleaned up. So in the meantime, I'm kind of just going off of Apple Music and stuff that's already been transferred to my phone, which some of it's perfect for this, some of it's not. But had an aunt and nephew who were coming from tennis lessons yesterday afternoon, who were starting to sing along with the Coldplay that was playing
Oh, really?
my playlist. Yeah, which was kind of cool. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool.
Was it They Were All Yellow? Was it that one?
It's actually exactly the song. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the stars, see how they shine for you.
I know that song.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I mean, I gotta say, and I figured out the other part of why I'm kind of enjoying this. You and I both have very solitary jobs. We sit in a room, sometimes in a basement, but we sit in a very solitary space, and our only coworker really is our family, who happens to be in the house with us. We don't get any interaction from other people, and so this kind of is fulfilling that, like, needing to get out and interact with somebody besides Tina itch.
Yeah, I totally get that.
me.
Like I'll on the weekends I'll do stuff or we'll meet up with friends or whatever, but
Right.
during the day, like the work day, all y'all out there have somebody in the cubicle next to you can throw like a crumpled up paper at and hit them on the head and laugh and talk about whatever TV show you just watched or whatever. And I guess we kind of get that, but it's all electronic and freaking video and audio, right?
Yeah, totally.
So it's not the same. So I totally get
Not
what
at
you're
all.
saying. That makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
I know it's actually like a break. Like I'll work on an ad for Ferguson's appliances there in Salt Lake City, with 3 locations there in Salt Lake City, on their new Cove dishwasher line.
Ooh.
And
Fancy.
I really am. I actually did that yesterday, and then I need a break. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna get out and lift for a bit. I actually went out and did a 23.5 mile bike ride yesterday,
Oh yeah.
and the only time I stopped was when I had to cross traffic and I had to wait for an opening. Other than that, no breaks, no nothing. It was a nonstop thing. And I was like, I want to get my endurance level up for this ride coming up in 2.5 freaking weeks.
It's gonna be here before you know it, man.
It really is. But if I can do 23.5 miles without a break, surely I can make it from pit stop to pit stop, 7 to 10 miles between pit stops, and have some Nilla wafers with a smear of peanut butter and a slice of banana on them, which sounds so good. God, those are so good.
Those sound good all the time. Doesn't matter
They
what I'm
really
doing.
do.
I want those now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's great, because also you'll be lugging around like 28 less pounds. And
Yes.
yeah, you're going to be fine. I think you're going to rock this one. That's
I
what's
think
gonna
so
happen.
too.
Yeah. You're going to get done with it and go, I can do this every week. That's what you'll say.
I know. I gotta get the Yai cam set up and figured out because I'm gonna mount that on the bike. I might even try and do a couple Facebook lives from a few of the pit stops just to check in with folks and let them know how things are going.
Yeah, I'd watch that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Carter's got me doing a thing. I should tell you about this. It's kind of silly, but it works.
Yeah.
She has this idea. She read up something on micro workouts or something like that, where like you just have a better day and have more energy if you just do these little short things. And so every 30 minutes, her phone has an alarm that's just in perpetuity. And every 30 minutes, it goes off, and she has to, no matter what she's doing, stop, get up, and do 30 jumping jacks.
Oh, wow.
And so she got me doing it all weekend and yesterday. Now, when I was on those shows and stuff, I couldn't do it, obviously. So when those would end, I would immediately have to go do a set.
Yeah.
And then if there was time in between where I'd hit 30 minutes, I would do it every 30 minutes. Then when a new show would start, if it was an hour and a half, I wouldn't do one until it was ending. Then I had to do one. So, and then the goal is you always do one right before bed. So I did that all weekend with her and did it yesterday. It's kind of awesome. Like, it's weirdly giving me crazy energy.
I'll bet it does, yeah. I mean,
I'm sore as hell, though, in weird places.
Minutes.
Yeah. And I got, like, a weird, like, sore muscles here and here. I got, like, my ankles are really getting a bit of a workout. But other than that, like, it's actually a kind of a weird burst of energy. I like it.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So we're going to keep doing that.
It feels like 30 minutes is so frequent, the interruptions. I mean, I get it. It makes sense that it would be... that it would work if you do it that frequently, but holy cow, 30 minutes.
Yeah. And the best thing about the jacks is that they're only 30 of them. That's like 30 seconds. It's a second per jack, per jumping jack.
A second per jack.
Per jack. Everybody jack for 1 second. And you get the thing done in 30 seconds and you're right back at it. So it feels about right. The intervals do, but she lost like 5 pounds or something over the weekend.
Wow.
Just doing that. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, that's the thing. Get your metabolism up and your heart going and all that.
Cool. Well, I'm going to Puzzle Pint tonight, so all bets are off. Actually, I checked in. The place I'm going has what looks like a really good chicken sandwich. So.
Oh, lovely. Is it another pub style
It
place?
is another pub style thing, yeah. So it's going to be meeting up with Nikki and Clark. And
does it always rotate? Is it always a different place?
Always a different place. Well,
okay.
It's always a different place from the previous month. They've had a couple that they've come back to.
Yeah.
But tonight's a brand new place that I've never been to. But it's usually a brewery, like usually a little microbrew place with either food trucks out front or their own food in house. This is a place that's got their own food in house. It sounds really good.
I love pub food.
Did you just say I love food?
No,
is that what you said?
Pub food.
Pub food. Okay,
Yeah.
it blanked out. Like, I love food.
Oh, Brian, food is so good.
I love food. Listen, I watched you eat some sushi last night on the stream, and I think you followed it up with a couple ribs or something.
Yeah,
is that what I saw?
Sarah made ribs, and so we went over and got some ribs from her.
Oh, yum.
And then we had Carter got sushi, and so she shared some of that. So I ended up with it was not even a full roll or a full. Yeah, it was a roll. It was sushi rolls, and it was probably like 4 pieces, and then like a piece, and then a ribs thing. It wasn't too bad, but it was.
Listen, I haven't been very well behaved so far this week, so I can relate. I would have done that too.
Well, we won't get a weigh-in because you'll be in Chicago on Friday, right?
I know. I'm gonna have to do my weigh-in on Thursday. Didn't even think about that. Or tomorrow morning at the. Yeah, I'll figure out a time for the weigh-in.
Or you should go to a Chicago-based weigh-in. That'd be fun.
Dude, I'm not gonna have time. It's basically like
that's true. You're just
I get
in
there.
And out.
Yeah, I fly in and it's Pokemon. It's catching Mons. Oh my god, I should send you. They sent me the map. It is so goofy, dorky, but I'm kind of excited about it. Let me find it here.
All right.
It is
again. Everybody picture Brian in his brightest shirt, his goofiest hat, and that see-through backpack.
I know.
Rolling around town,
Did that
catching Pokemon.
Is that too big? Let's see. Hold shift to upload directly. Just upload.
I don't know why that
won't let me.
cracks
Is
me
it
up.
too? It's not too big. Hold on a second. It's going to do it this way. This will crack you up when you see it. If
Okay.
I can.
I'm into it.
There we go. All right.
Stick it
here
into the
comes.
unit there.
Here it comes.
I can
I'm putting it in our Discord.
I can feel it. Oh,
All
there
right.
it
So
is.
have a look at this business. This is the map of the Grant Park Go Fest. You can put it up on screen for everyone to see.
Yeah.
They sent me all my press credential stuff, so I get to go to a tent where they're offering free breakfast and lunch all day.
Oh, look at this. Here we go. Okay. Oh, look at this. It's like a Disney.
It totally is like a Disney map. Yeah. Right down to like some goofy, like the Winter Forest, the Spooky Woods, the Fairy Garden.
Wow. Look at all
Yeah.
that. Oh, yeah. They've got. Oh, and they'll have a bunch of food trucks. That's good. That's always
Yeah,
good.
the food trucks. There's like
And
a
this is
little,
where is this location?
Grant Park in Chicago.
Okay, Grant Park. All right. That's where it was last year, right? Or am I thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Or no, 2 years ago, Grant Park. Last year was in a different park, but it was also Chicago. It's been Chicago all
And
3 years.
remind me, is this a sanctioned Pokemon Go event? Or this is
Oh
them
yeah,
running
this is
it?
put on by the by Niantic, and it's totally all their business.
That's awesome. Now
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because that looks crazy.
It kind of does look like it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of photos, and I'm going to be having a blast. And
It looks like
I just wish
it looks like proper Pokemon levels is what the map looks like. Like
well,
if
that's
you're-
what it's supposed to be,
Is that
right?
the
So like
idea?
each of those biomes, yeah. So in the Winter Forest, you're going to catch your ice Pokemon, and in the Spooky Woods, you'll catch your dark and ghost types.
That's awesome. It's very cool.
Oh, it's going to be silly, but it's going to be silly fun.
It also makes it look like that fountain in the middle there is huge. Is it huge?
It does. I don't know. I've never been to Grant Park.
Oh, that's right. This will be your first
Yeah,
time
this
deal.
will be my first time.
And
Yep.
you got people meeting you there or something? Or is it just you?
Yeah, there's going to be a few TMS listeners. There's going to be fans of the Pokemon Go podcast. There's going to be quite a few of the group. And actually, this will be the only time that that the three hosts of the Pokemon Go podcast will be there together. Like it'll be the first time I've met one of my co-hosts in person.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, too.
Yeah. I've met Charles McFall before. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Just kidding.
We've all met a little Charles McFall before.
We've all met a little Charles McFall, but
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be great. See-through backpack, my favorite part. That's gonna be
God,
the
I
best.
know.
I mean, it has a practical purpose. It's not like you're doing this
It
for a
does.
fashion reason, but
Well, and also like sporting events in Colorado require you to have one of these, so it's not like it's never going to get any other use.
right.
It just feels like I should be listening to K-pop
Yeah.
and
Like
and
some
have
13-year-old girl going to junior high for the first time or something.
like carrying a see-through backpack. I should be doing this all the time.
Like, yeah, dude, doing this. Sucker in
The
one
peace
mouth.
sign. Yeah. Happy fun time. Yeah, USA #1.
The USA #1. Yep. These are the photos we want, everybody who's going. Get Brian in those compromising positions.
That's right.
This is what we want.
Exactly.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's fantastic. We will check in, of course, after that and see how things went. But now,
Sure.
it's this.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
Hey, it's the news brought to you by...
You heard Wendy Dunford on last week's episode of the Dad Chronicle. This week, Alex interviews Scott Johnson
What?
about fatherhood. Scott shares his experience becoming a father and grandfather, what life was like becoming an entrepreneur, and the inspiration he draws from his own father in how he approaches parenting. Give this episode a listen over at thedadchronicle.com or search for The Dad Chronicle on your favorite podcatcher.
I had a great time on there. It was really fun. So
Cool.
people should
How
check
often
that out.
did you complain about his voice? At all? Or?
Not at all. Not even once. In fact, I've come to the conclusion that his voice is fine. His voice is totally fine. Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong about it. He's got a good voice. He's a good interviewer.
He is a good interviewer.
He's got
yeah.
real skills for that. He really knows how to get a good question in that isn't too long and too hairy. Like, is very much to the point, and you know exactly what he wants. There's a lot. That's a skill that's hard to teach. So
For sure.
he's kicking it over there. Plus, I also did my little follow up with the season 1 of Top Podcaster, and that was fun.
Cool. Good.
So lots of thoughts there, and that was great. Anyway, he's awesome.
Yeah, you need to respond in your email about recording time for the for
Oh, I
Monday
thought I
shows,
did.
just in-
Mondays are totally fine for me at the time we did before. If
Oh no,
that's,
but I'm asking if you want to do it earlier because well-
earlier. The only problem I have with earlier is I do
You have
boop
right?
earlier. I do it
Okay.
so we usually end boop right before you would almost be ready to go live with the other thing. So
oh really?
that's-
Okay, so should we keep it? We'll keep it to the regular.
It's
keep
better
it to the
for
time we did
me,
last
but if everybody's got a other reason, maybe I can shuffle things
Fine.
around.
I'm just kidding.
We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried.
Yeah, exactly. No.
All right, let's take a look at the news this week. Now, this is my favorite story of the week because
Yes, I can't wait to talk about this.
and my main reason that I like it is because I actually think he should do it. And,
Yeah.
And the
Well,
reason I
yeah.
think he should do it is because I think he would absolutely kick Justin Bieber's ass. But let's talk about it. Justin Bieber has challenged Tom Cruise to a UFC fight on Sunday. He challenged him to this fight. He wants him to join him in the Octagon. That's the UFC ring. To solve a problem so fiendishly difficult no one has previously bothered to think about it. If a 25-year-old pop star stands 5'9", that's 175 centimeters for those wondering at home in the metric set,
Space points.
space points, and sells 150 million records, attracting 106 million Twitter followers, why does he randomly decide to try to goad a 56-year-old movie star into fighting him? Needless to say, calculation so erroneous quickly won the attention of the best minds on social media. Former UFC champion Conor McGregor. I'm Conor McGregor of Clown McGregor.
From the clan McGregor.
I said clown and I meant clan.
Clown
Oops.
McGregor.
The clown McGregor. Anyway, was quick to talk up the bout's prospects. Does Cruz have the sprouts to fight? He inquired. Anyway, he wants to fight him, and it's not entirely sure or clear why Justin Bieber has called him out for the fight.
Oh, okay.
Other than he wants to do it. Now, normally this is
But
just
the
like
setup paragraph says to solve a problem so fiendishly difficult no one had previously bothered to think of it. But then they don't say what it is.
yeah, it's kind of
What is
weird.
the problem?
It's
that
kind of
needs to
weird,
be solved?
and they don't really get into it. They just say, "Hey, Tom Cruise has yet to respond to this challenge," but they don't describe why he's challenging him, which is kind of a bummer because I'd really like to know. But mainly, here's the thing: what will probably happen is Cruise's people just blow this off, and who cares, right? It's just Justin Bieber being weird.
Yes.
I think he should accept. Because Tom
I think so,
Cruise
too.
is in better shape than any of us and would tear this guy a new butthole. Like, Justin Bieber would be on the floor done. There's no way he wins this.
Yeah.
So, if you think you're 25-year-old spry, whatever, I guarantee you you're doing more drinking, more drugs, more whatever, more sitting around, whatever, than Tom Cruise ever does. So he's gonna kill you. You're gonna be done. And I
And
want
Tom's got he's got Scientology on his side too, so he can L. Ron Hubbard Bieber's butt.
that's right. He could go full Theance, or
Unleash
what's it
the
called?
full Xenu.
Xenu, yeah, go full Xenu on him. But I would watch this. This is the thing I would like tune into.
Yeah.
I want to see Bieber cry. Is really what I'm saying.
And Tom Cruise won't accept. I mean, we could probably pretty much guess, but I'd like Bieber then to say, okay, how about Keanu Reeves? Because I feel like Keanu Reeves might accept. Keanu
think he
Reeves
might?
feels like he's in the stage where he's accepting a bunch of different things. Like I just saw him in that "Always Be My Maybe" thing that Nicole recommended.
Mm-hmm. He was also on stage just a day ago in the Microsoft conference.
That's right. Yes.
And he's in that video game that he came to talk about in Cyberpunk, which everyone's looking forward to. Yeah, like he's having a moment.
Cool.
He's definitely having a moment.
He's definitely having a moment, and of course, John Wick is blowing up and doing great for him. So, I'd like Bieber. I'd like to see Bieber and Keanu because I think Keanu could take both Tom Cruise and Bieber.
I think Keanu Reeves would do great. I think almost everybody would beat Bieber. I really do. Like currently, I'd put like who would I put up against him and still feel okay about it? Like probably, oh my gosh, just about anybody. I think Justin Bieber's a little weenie. I think he just
Really?
lose.
Like, are you thinking Miley Cyrus could?
Oh yeah, I think she could
Okay.
tear him.
Oh really?
apart.
That's not even a question.
Yeah, I think she got him. Someone in the
Could
chat
we-
said Kirk Douglas. Yes, Kirk Douglas could take him. Yeah,
Could
maybe
we
not.
maybe put Bieber and a Kardashian, any Kardashian.
It doesn't matter.
Your choice. In kind of a Thunderdome kind of situation with chainsaws and sledgehammers and.
I mean, you wouldn't even have to ask me, but yes, the answer is yes. I would love to watch that. But they're all gonna get him.
2 fools enter, 1 fool leave.
I'd take any one of those Jonas Brothers. I'd take any of those One Direction kids. Any of them. They all got Bieber.
I'm coming around on the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, they're all
some
right.
on SNL, they're all right.
Yeah.
You know, they what's his face? Joe kind of hooked me in with that walk or Cake by the Ocean, the dance DNCE track.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of swinging back towards, all right, maybe the Jonas Brothers have got the chops.
Who just married one of them? Somebody famous?
Yeah, it was Sansa Stark just married Joe Jonas.
Oh, right. I hope is he okay with her huffing on that pen all day? Because she is always on the pen.
I don't know.
If you
she
go
didn't realize
look,
she was huffing on the pen.
Yes, just go look for any pictures of Sansa Stark walking around town or doing anything.
Really?
Even just sitting on the
She
set.
didn't come across as a vapor.
Oh,
That's
she's
funny.
a huge vapor. If you look at her on, like, there were the shots from the Game of Thrones set where they would just be between scenes. And like Arya's reading some magazine and somebody else is looking at their phone and somebody else is doing this. And she is over there just sucking on that pen. Just pulling on that pen. And it's, whatever. I guess, if you do what you do what you need, but she is super into that pen. In fact, someone in the chat, you're going to find some photos, you're going to post them here, and we're all going to have a good laugh. Anyway,
right.
good luck to them. I hope they really I hope that works out for her.
Hope those 2 kids can make it, but really, how much time are you going to give them? What is
2 years.
What's the over under on the Joe Jonas?
2 years on that. 2 years.
Uh-huh.
I think she's
once he finds out that she's not really Queen of the North, I think she's I think the 2 of them are Splitsville.
Yeah, that'll be it. He's been sold a bill of goods that is not going to be true. Yeah, Sophie Turner. Sorry, her name isn't Sansa Stark.
Yeah, Sansa Stark.
And I think she's great. She's a great actor, but apparently as soon as the camera stops and cut, where's my pen? Where's my pen? Just sucking on that pen.
I think she's okay. I don't think she's a great actress. I think she's.
You think she's a little one note?
She's a little one note, and she's not good in Dark Phoenix.
Oh, Dark Phoenix. That's such a bummer. I'm glad you took the bullet on that because I don't want to see it. I'm gonna wait.
I almost want to tell you something that just still drives me nuts.
Okay.
But I don't want to spoil it. Is there anybody? How familiar are you with the Dark Phoenix?
I think I have the general plot points where you're up there doing something in low orbit.
Sure.
Some kind of weird blast comes out of nowhere. In the comics, it's got something to do with.
Well, do you remember in the comic book when I feel like I can spoil the comic book that came out in the 70s?
No.
Do you remember in the comic book when she's in full Dark Phoenix mode and she goes out into space and basically goes supernova to absorb a star that has a planet circling around it that does have civilization on it. Completely wipes out an entire planet of civilization.
Yeah, takes out like billions of people, maybe trillions. Yeah.
Yes. All right. This is where if you really care about Dark Phoenix and you kind of don't want to don't want to know. So the villains in the movie are a group of super, what are they called? The Benai? Basically, well, not even super. They're people from that planet who apparently have super strength and shape-shifting powers and and have traveled to Earth to fight Dark Phoenix and take the power.
Wait, were they lived because they were off planet at the time or something like that? Or?
I don't know. When she destroyed, when the Phoenix Force, I should say, it was pre Sansa Stark getting the Phoenix, pre Jean Grey getting the Phoenix Force. She that Phoenix Force kind of destroyed their planet, but not fully. Like kind of destroyed their planet. And they had a few people who survived, but apparently they're a race of super strong shapeshifters instead of being the. There was such a great thing when Claremont wrote it about this very innocent race looking up and seeing and watching their star explode and how powerful it was that they did nothing and all of a sudden they're just getting completely wiped out.
I wonder how Claremont feels about this. He's probably not
I
happy.
don't know.
Can't be, right?
No.
He's still around. There he is.
Oh yeah, he's totally still around.
Yeah, lives in London.
Jessica Chastain is one of the.
Did
one
you
of
say
the,
Jessica Cheesestein?
Jessica Chastain? Yes.
I love that. That's
Somebody in the chat room came up with that back, months ago.
I don't
and somebody
remember
said,
it.
Oh, Dabari. That was the race of Dabari. Yes.
Oh, Dabari. D''Bari. All right.
or the El Dabari if they're singing the song "Who's Johnny."
He said, yes, Jessica Chastain. That's fantastic. All right.
Chastain.
Oh, she's in this then. I didn't know that.
She's in this.
All
Yeah,
right. I like her normally.
I do too. It's great. And,
Actually, this thing is full of actors who are amazing in lots of things.
Yes.
Just chock full of them. Like,
Yes.
you don't get a chance to do this that often. You're gonna blow it this hard? My gosh.
I know. And McAvoy is fantastic, and Fassbender, and Nicholas Holt.
Yep.
I mean, boy.
Jennifer,
best casting.
not Lopez.
Jennifer,
Lawrence, right?
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, she's great. The kid that they got to play Nightcrawler is some of the best casting. Like, this kid just looks like Nightcrawler. But
Does he
again,
do a German accent the whole time?
there's total German accent the whole time, but he does some very un-Nightcrawler things that drive me nuts. Again, it's Fox has got powers right, but characters wrong.
It bums me out. Let's see who this kid is. I want to see if I know him.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix film. Here we go. This has got your Ty Sheridan. Yeah,
Is that his name? Is that Ty Sheridan?
Oh no, that's Scott Summers. Never mind.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's the kid from he's your the VR movie.
Cody Smith McPhee.
Oh, Cody McPhee. Smick.
Yes. Smickfee.
Smickfee. All right, fantastic. Hans Zimmer did the music. That's cool.
Surprise, he's an Australian. Jeez.
Yeah, they just always have those. No, he's cool. I like that kid.
He's the good-looking kid. Just looking at photos of him without the blue makeup all over the place, and
I didn't know they got this Ty Sheridan to do it. He's great. He's in that Mud movie I love so much with.
With Michael McConaughey.
McConaughey, yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, Mud's so good. He's really young in that. Well, anyway, yeah, and he's in the Ready Player One. That's the Ready Player One kid.
Right, yeah. Boy. His Wikipedia photo, Ty Sheridan, he looks like he could play Andy Samberg's son.
They're like siblings. Look at these guys. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, the older he gets, the more he Sambergs. Look at this chat room. I'll put this up on screen. Look at that. Whoops. There he is. That's Samberg as hell.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I got my flippy floppies on. Yeah.
Great cast, garbage script.
That's too bad. Dummies. Well, whatever. Yeah. Let's see what. Now it's back in the proper hands. Let's see what happens.
That's right.
Should work out just fine. Hey, people not born in 1985 or not born before then were asked recently to try the new Coke.
Oh, right, because they brought back new Coke, right?
Yep.
Coke did?
It did not go well, it turns out. People didn't like it. It's widely considered the biggest marketing fail of all time, as we've discussed before. In 85, after sticking to the same sacred recipe for almost a century, Coke unveiled a new version of its soft drink blandly titled New Coke. Just about every American of a certain age is familiar with what happened next. Consumers were distraught by the new flavor and protested the change, and it became a cultural obsession. But what about those Americans who are not of a certain age? We wrestled, according to this article, they wrestled up a bunch of Houston Chronicle journalists there at the Houston Chronicle. You've been there, right? Houston Chronicle?
I spent a week at the Houston Chronicle working there.
They give you Coke while you're there? You want to? They go, Brian, you want a Coke?
They never offered me new Coke, but it was it would have been early 2000s, maybe 2003, 2002, somewhere right around then.
That sounds right. Anyway, they wanted to
Sleeping
sample.
bag on the grassy knoll.
Very nice. Which is being released this summer. We've talked about that with Stranger Things thing. Anyway.
Yes, I know that's Dallas, people. Don't save your emails. I know it's Dallas.
We know, guys. Just calm yourselves down. They got them from the book repository, down and to the left, down and to the left.
That's right, exactly.
Journalist
Books
Brooke
repository.
Lewis, Jordan Rubio. These two were both born in 1992. Oh, they're my daughter's age. No, they're 2 years older. Sorry. That's the year I got married. And Julia Garcia, who was born in 1987, were told to come and try this tasting. They were blank slates. They'd never tried it before, and they gave it a shot. They were largely unaware of the legacy also. You got to think people who didn't go through that don't really understand what the big deal was.
Right.
But anyway, they tried it, and they didn't like it. They think it's gross, is the bottom line. And so
Yeah.
I guess that's a good sign that New Coke was never well received then, and certainly not now. So them bringing this back for this temporary little blip is probably good that it's only temporary, and we'll all go back to normal Coke, and everything will be fine.
And it's such, nobody liked it, so it's going to be such a just gimmick, right? It's not going to be like, oh man, remember how good Zima was?
Uh-huh.
Remember how good Crystal Pepsi was?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember hating it then, and guess what? I still hate it now. And
Crystal Pepsi lied to me because they said it would taste just like Pepsi, but it didn't.
yeah, it tasted like soap.
Yeah.
Soapsy.
Soapsy. It did. And if you closed your eyes and drank from a Pepsi can and then from a Crystal Pepsi can, you could tell the difference.
You can totally tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It pisses me off. It did. Rainbow Bright, it tasted like soap. It did. She liked it, though.
Hey,
Yeah.
is that might be one of the earliest times that I can remember that the complaints of the people made a company about face on a decision like that. You know, like how fans of Game of Thrones want them to redo the last season, or you know, fans of a TV show send a whole bunch of peanuts to get them to renew Wonderfalls or something like that. That might be, that whole backlash from New Coke might be the first time I remember a you know, a crowd sourced mob.
Yeah. Where the outrage was enough to change that quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because they did a turnabout pretty quick there.
they really did. Yeah.
Yeah. And they couldn't sell what they had left, but I'm trying to remember anything like that. Oh, I got one for you. Here's a
Yeah,
recent
go ahead.
one, that Sonic movie.
Yes. Yeah. Going back to the drawing board on the Sonic look.
Yeah, they're going to change that whole thing and delay the film as a result. So that's a thing. But yeah, like
I was going to say,
oh, what
it's a dangerous precedent to set, you know, making the people, giving the people the power to say, no, I don't like it, redo it. Because I feel like when you have, when you're so easily bent to the will of your audience, your consumers, you end up with the potential for beige, right? You end up with, all right, we're going to sand off all the sharp edges of this cool thing that was unique and different and unusual and make it, because these people don't like it that sharp and these people don't like it that round, so we're going to be right in the middle and make it beige.
Yeah, you don't want like yes, design by committee is typically a bad idea, but if you've screwed up so royally,
Yes, like that Sonic trailer.
Yeah.
That's a good example of like, all right, this one I can get
it's
behind.
really bad. I mean, if you're in a, you know, bubble like that and you just are so out of touch with what people actually wanted, and then they tell you forcefully like, oh my gosh, this is not what we wanted.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, those happen. It's not very often, but they happen.
Does.
Yeah, it seems like it happens less in technology, although, you know, Google releases stuff that seems neat all the time and then they just abandon it.
Yeah.
But that's different. That's just them getting
It's
bored with
different
it.
because
or
it's not the
whatever.
people saying, no, we don't want Google Reader anymore. We don't like getting our RSS feeds.
Yeah, because Google Reader was awesome. Like,
It was great, and I
Yeah.
can't believe that they got rid of it.
when they got, in fact, that was the one that they got rid of where I went, I'm never going to put my RSS feeds on FeedBurner because Google owns them now. And I'm terrified FeedBurner will just get, I still am. I'm still nervous they're going to just let it go. And it terrifies me because so many podcasters use it. You use it, don't you?
I use it.
Yeah. So does Tom. Like a bunch of people do.
Yeah.
And I've always manually done my feeds with some software. It doesn't take very long, but I do it because I don't want to. If they ever just like, yeah, we're just dropping that. It's like, oh shit.
I mean, if they do, then you just put a line of XML code to point it to the new directory, and after iTunes and Google Play see that line, that XML line, they point you to a new.
Well, in the
path.
case of Apple, they finally let you change it, so you can go in and edit the feed and give it a
Yeah,
new location.
right.
So that's easy now. But back in the day, if
they
you
didn't-
changed anything,
well, you didn't have that. You had to do. I guess I didn't
Oh.
realize you could do that. You had to do that, the XML code, to say, all right, yellow sign on the side of the road saying detour. Go to my new go to my new directory.
I jumped through hoops and had a guy custom write some kind of server forwarding stuff when I had to move servers because it was such a pain. I cannot believe it took him that long. That was so annoying.
Yeah.
Leaders my ass. Oh, what's that? Scott said something negative about Apple.
What?
Weird. All right. Two nuns walk into a bar. No, you're gonna like this because it's a Vegas story. That's why I picked it up.
Oh, good. Nuns in Vegas. You've hooked me in with my two favorite things.
Yep. His two favorite fantasies: nuns in Vegas. Yeah. Two nuns stole $500,000 for trips to Las Vegas, but the church doesn't want them prosecuted. So this is very, very interesting. For nearly 28 years, Sister Mary Margaret Kruper. Yes, her name is Mary Margaret. Everybody.
Of course it is.
She's a nun, after all. Was the principal at St. James Catholic School. This is an elementary school in Torrance, California, a coastal suburb southwest of LA. Around the same time when Kruper announced she was retiring earlier this year, a family at the school asked for a copy of an old check they had written to St. James. When staff members found the check, the Long Beach Press-Telegram reported they realized it had not been deposited in St. James' account, but a different account.
Oh no!
This is right as she's retiring.
Wow.
That was among the first clues that they would soon unravel a vast fraud that was allegedly conducted by Kruper and Sister Lana Chang. Oh my gosh, isn't that lady from Seinfeld who's not Chinese? But
that's Donna Chang.
Oh,
Changstein.
Donna Chang.
Donna Changstein, yeah.
You're not Chinese. No, I'm not. Well then,
I thought I was crossing the great.
That is a great episode.
That's so good. We just actually saw the comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and that's such a great one because you can see how much those two just loved working together, how much they love each other.
Yeah, and it's all, and also just their willingness to rib each other is great. But there's there's like a fun, almost like, I don't know, vulnerability to them when they're together. They're awesome.
Totally.
Yeah. That was a really good episode. That was right before her cancer diagnosis, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. She's all good now. I think she's in full remission or whatever they say. Is that what they say?
Full remission. Yep.
Yeah.
That is what they say.
Anyway, school officials told parents that two nuns stole around $500,000 from the school, doing it this way with checks here and there. The school said the two women reportedly were best friends, used the pilfered funds on trips and casino visits.
Wow.
Let's see. The revelations came as a shock to parents and church members who were not only operating under the impression that St. James was struggling to keep themselves afloat during fiscally troubled waters, but also dealing with the aftershocks of tragedy. In 2014, 4 people were killed, including a 6-year-old boy, when an intoxicated woman plowed into a crowd of people leaving a Christmas concert at St. James. So they've had some history over there. Anyway, they don't want to prosecute him because they are going to just forgive him. They're just like,
that's good. That is the way.
I guess so. I feel like they didn't have to pay for their sins.
We were taking our message to the craps table.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Chat room, someone just says that our thing says special events in Square Enix. It does not. And maybe you have to refresh on your end. It says the morning stream on mine. I don't know.
Yeah, and really, come on, doesn't matter. Progressive fade.
Yeah, it won't matter to you. It definitely won't matter to them. But I did change it.
Oh, you're worried about people discovering this, thinking it might be.
Well, it's changed. I've done it, so it's on Twitch. If it's not working, I
want my money back.
I have no way to fix it. The category right here says talk shows and podcasts, and it says it's updated. So,
and listen, our show is a special event, and don't try and tell us it's not.
Yeah, it's always a special event. Here, the chat room just doesn't believe me, so I'm just gonna share some.
You're gonna screenshot.
I'm gonna screenshot it, and then I'm gonna put it up on a web deal unit. Okay, so check this. This is a lot of work for just this, but I think it's fair that they get to see the truth. Here's the truth.
You can't handle it.
Yeah, if you refresh it, I don't know. Maybe something was cached weird. I have no idea. I don't control that.
Could be. Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's the stories. We'll save this other one for tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is a good.
Get a Bill and Justin in here.
This is a good one for tomorrow. Anyway, look at that thing.
Yes. Yeah, I saw somebody sent that to us, and I was like, oh, God, I can't wait to talk about that.
Has to be on the show. All right, we're going to get a break going, and when we come back, we'll have Bill here coming in early, as well as Justin Robert Young right after that. We have a hard out at right around 9:30, so hopefully they got plenty to say and a short time to say it. So that'll be good. But before that, a song from Brian.
Yes, this one, I believe he is from London. I don't know where St. Albans is, but that's where he's based now. I think that's also in the UK. He worked for or played drums for a band called Emery as a singer guitarist for North London band 2081.
To
Now
whoever
he's,
the
Oh my
it
gosh.
was.
So
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
My thing went nuts. You go ahead. You're fine.
Is that a special event, Scott? Now he's solo. He's got a brand new album that just came out called Catch Me Out. If you've heard of the band Suede in the UK, he totally reminds me of Suede. Brett Anderson's vocals like all over this thing. And if you haven't, he's also been influenced by Radiohead, Smashing Pumpkins, Pixies, and also fronted the band Traveler and won that city's Band of the Year competition in 2001. Here's the brand new song from Mark J. Giddon called Catch Me Out.
To whoever the it was that breached my bank account. You, I can't use my card to go get some food now.
These Japanese buyers very particular about their semen.
This is the morning stream. It's a rat turd.
It's a little rough. It's a rat turd.
Golly, no kidding.
I don't
It's
know,
rough.
man. I don't feel good about that.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but all right, sure.
All right, punishprops.com's own Bill Duran heading into the house here. I'm going to get him going.
Welcome to the house, Bill.
To the house. Here's a little thing. Let's see.
It also had wide armpit holes.
All right, that's Bill. That's a different Bill. It's a different Bill, but he's may as well be this Bill. It's fine. Hi, Bill. Welcome.
Oh, goodness.
How are you?
Oh, no, the giant cat just got on. Like, oh, there he
Wow.
goes. All right.
Enormous that thing is.
Jeez.
He's their big buddy.
That's a big cat. That is a big cat. Has he grown? Is that a full grown now? That's a full cat.
Oh, yeah, he's almost 10.
Oh, geez. He's an old cat then.
Now he just grows out.
Yeah. Would you be
Sure.
Would you be sad if I'd be sad if your cats passed away because I like watching you and your cats.
Would you be sad if your cat passed away?
That's a bad question, but you know, I see like all these fun pictures of Bill. There's three things I know about Bill. He makes a lot of cool shit. He's a great photographer, and he's got cool cats.
I do have
Those
cool
are the
cats.
those are the three pinnacles of your existence.
True.
And,
Yep, that's all you need to know about me.
yeah, that's fantastic. Hey, any chance you're gonna ever appear as like a little guesty guest or something on that new Adam Savage thing he's doing, that new show?
I don't know. Not in this first season, at least. I was not asked to participate in any of it, but I would if I had the chance.
Oh, of course you would. Yeah.
So I guess we'll just see if they make another one. But I did get to see a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's called Savage Builds. It's the kind of a return. Well, I guess technically they had that Mythbusters Junior thing going, so there's been other stuff on, but that's kind of Adam's big return to the Discovery Channel with like a full new show.
Yeah,
And it looks like high octane Bill Brad shit. It's not. You're not trying to disprove any myths here. You're just blowing
no, it's
things
just
up.
Cool stuff. Yeah, he's
No
gonna be
pretense.
with the Colorado School of Mines here in Golden, Colorado on
Yeah.
an Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
Aw.
it's 3D printed titanium. I got to touch it. It's
Oh, did you really?
magical. It's so cool.
Oh my
gosh,
gosh.
It's
that's
so cool.
That
yeah.
sounds really expensive. I'm sure it was.
I didn't even want to ask.
3D printed titanium. Wow.
I know. I don't know how you fit that stuff through the extruder.
Yeah. That's nutty. Well, anyway, it's good to have Bill here as always. Comes on Tuesdays, talks about the world of making things. We all pour one out today for Maker Faire for the moment anyway, until
Yep.
they
yep.
figure their stuff out. Pretty
Amazing.
rough little bit of business news there, but whatever. Makers carry on, and Bill's one of those guys. So, Bill, what are you working on this week?
Yes, we will keep making. A few weeks ago, excuse me, a few weeks ago, I made a dragon egg from Game of Thrones, and that shape, that sort of egg or football shape, we figured could be used in many other ways. So we asked our audience, and they gave us some great ideas. So I took that shape and I made the mini nuke from Fallout. So it's a little it's ammunition, really, is what it is in the context of the game. But it's a tiny little nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm. That's
Got
true.
an egg-shaped bit on the top, so we were able to repurpose that pattern and make the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of reusable stuff, right? You don't want to have to make everything from scratch all the time.
Yeah, whenever we can reuse patterns like that, it's always super useful.
So what did you do different here? Like, is it just exactly the same process, or do you do something special?
Yeah, so it's all EVA foam, like normal. And I took the pattern for that egg and I just printed it scaled down to like 75%, so it'd be a little bit smaller. And I made the rest of the parts of the little bomb thing. So I use
tail and everything. That's so cool.
Yeah, some more foam for the fins, and then there are these 2 rings. So I made those out of PVC pipe.
Mm-hmm.
I did most of the work with my rotary tool. I also used the bandsaw to make most of the cuts. It was a fairly simple build. Went together without too much trouble. Everything was sealed up with Mod Podge. We used it's like a PVA glue to kind of coat the whole thing to have a nice finish on there, and then it was all painted by hand. Just some acrylic paints and paint brushes. Nothing too fancy. Couple real screws thrown in there for good measure. It was a really good 2-day project.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So I was going to ask you about. Oh, I have a reference question. So when building things like this very specific item from a game, I see you've got printed out color images of different angles of the thing. Do you? Yep. Where are you getting that from? Does Bethesda offer all this stuff out? Does other people put this together? Do you find 3D models? Like, how do you do it?
It's a bit of a grab bag. Sometimes game companies will give out character sheets or cosplay guides, and we're seeing that more and more, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Often just a screenshot from the game is enough, or you can go on Google image search and just find something that might work for you. But in this case, Britt actually was able to pull the file out of the game and get a 3D turnaround of it. Like a straight up orthographic projection, perfect dimensions of it. So,
that's awesome.
It's tricky. You can't always do that. It depends on the game engine. But for a lot of popular games, you can go look up tutorials on how to rip the assets out. They're generally not good enough for 3D printing, but if you're going to use that as a visual reference for foam fabrication, or if you're going to use it as like a scale reference for 3D modeling, those files can help you out a whole bunch.
And some basic masking tape, literally masking work going on here, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's some basic stuff. You don't need to be a genius to figure those out. That's awesome.
Nope, not at all.
I desire this. I want this on my table, and I'll never.
Very cool.
That's what I figured. It's a good good conversation piece. I was thinking about maybe turning it into a lamp or something.
Oh, a lamp would be good. We've done those before, so why not?
Yeah. Or an alarm clock. Oh, it'd be a perfect alarm clock. Little countdown timer on the side going down.
No, that's really cool. That's perfect. I would. Cool. One of my favorite things I ever got from anyone is the little Nuka-Cola thing I got from you one Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Still have that over there. It's one of my favorite things ever. People see that and lose their minds because it's one of the most iconic things from that game series. So if you played Fallout, you know what Nuka-Cola is and you know what those little bottles look like. And it immediately strikes people. They're just like, oh my gosh, where did you get that? That looks insane. Oh, a friend of mine made that. Made it out of what? Yep. They can't believe it. So anyway, Fallout continues to be a source of inspiration for Bill Durant, it turns out. Nice work. Are you excited about any of the change? I don't know if you had any chance to hear them, but they made a big talk about changes they're making to that 76 thing.
I haven't had a chance to play 76 yet, but I feel like it was really cool to see them take the feedback they got in stride, make some strong changes to the game, and then offer people a chance to play it for free for a while. I think that's pretty cool of them to do.
Yep.
And hopefully people are having a lot of fun playing.
They're leaning in, as it turns out, which is good. Yeah. Well, we, of course, appreciate this and you getting up early to tell us about it. And people should go check this out at punishprops.com. But you always leave us with a little morsel of something extra. What is it this week?
I sure do. Our buddy Jimmy Duress has been at it again. He made a scissor lift grill. So it's all welding and steel.
Look at that.
But it's a grill, and you can raise and lower the grill surface with a scissor mechanism. It's ridiculous and awesome. The sort of things Jimmy makes.
There is a, I mean, I hate to bring this back to Las Vegas, but there is a, one of the Jose Andres restaurants, I think it's at the Aria, has a bunch of these. Like their whole grill table is about 4 or 5 of these that they raise and lower, and they do like, you know, cedar plank salmon and trout and stuff like that, and they just raise and lower as they need for each of the different fish that they grill on there.
That's pretty cool.
Is it weird that just watching someone work with a bunch of metal is making me hungry? That's weird.
Yes, that is actually weird. Yeah,
it's really weird. Well, because I know what you could do with it. Oh,
Yeah.
All right, that's
Well,
awesome.
I mean, he does everything. He didn't just buy a grill and like make a little a little scissor lift on it. He's making everything on this thing.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Welding. Oh wow.
Yeah, look at that.
I like
handles.
his video style is really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's awesome. All right, Jimmy. What's it? Sorry, Jimmy.
Jimmy DiResta.
Jimmy DiResta.
DiResta.
Up there on the YouTubers, if y'all want to go check that out. Boy, you know what?
Nice.
You know what you're due? The makers are due their own little YouTube controversy. You got the makeup people falling apart because of somebody doing something dumb. The video game people are always having some big fart out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Politics, of course, always a big topic. But you never hear about any big fallout or anger or issues with the maker people.
Makers.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we're all in our shops 24 hours a day, either building something or editing video. Like,
Yeah.
That's why we have no free time.
Yeah.
We have no time for controversy.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's awesome that you're in the crowd that doesn't need any of that. So that's pretty rad. All right, Build Around, everybody. Chinbeard on Twitter. Of course, punishprops.com. Great stuff as always. Take it easy. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
He looks like Tony Stark today. You notice that?
He does. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, I was trying to decide if it was just because I saw that Avengers thing yesterday, or if it was really.
He really looked
was
like
Tony Stark.
It was weird. Had a real Tony Stark vibe. All right, let's
Hey,
get.
before you pull Justin in, do a little off and on again with your camera.
Oh, did it freeze
up.
for you?
Yeah.
Why is it doing that?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I don't know why, man. Okay, cool. We're
haven't
good.
had that problem before. Me no.
I don't know.
Me no. All right, I'm gonna play a little intro unit here.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Hey, look who it is, everybody. It's our old friend Justin, who has wandered in from the cold to hang out with us a little bit early in the morning. Hi, Justin.
Hey, it's not cold anymore. It's very hot out here in
Oh.
Oakland, California. Nobody's got AC.
That's true.
We're all sweating our grapes off.
Wait, so I always hear about this because in the Bay Area is a pretty temperate place where it stays kind of nice and even all year round or whatever. But when you guys start getting the old climate change or whatever the hell's happening with heat, y'all are screwed because you don't even have swamp coolers. You just are screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's called summer. Like, it's not necessarily everything's not climate. There is a season in which it just gets like kind of warmer, and even out here, basically, it really gets hot like right now for like 2 weeks, and then oddly enough, in October, it gets really hot. There's like a I mean, is it politically correct to say Indian summer? Is that still? Can we not say that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what the deal is. What do you think, Brian? Would you say Indian summer? What would you say?
I think that it's not a derogatory term, right? It's not like Indian giver or sitting. I mean, I don't think sitting Indian style isn't derogatory either. But
in October we get a Mumbai swelter, and
it's an Eastern Indian summer.
Okay, that's fair.
So basically, the thing that happens is that it's very, very hot outside of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Which is why the fog happens. The fog rolls over, and that basically blocks out the sun during the day, which is why you get the old axiom. The coldest winter I ever felt was a summer in San Francisco, because San Francisco and to a certain extent Oakland can get chilly during the summer months, but then when it's not as hot to create the fog blanket, then you get really hot days, and that's in the beginning of the fall. It gets super hot.
It's currently 72 degrees in San Francisco, California. Humidity of 45, that's a decent percentage, and a wind factor of 1 mile per hour northwest. Nice job. Anyway, there's the weather. Now let's do traffic. Hey, Justin, what's up in your world? That's I know you're done with Italy. We're done with it. There's no more Italy. Okay, we're done.
Yeah,
that's it. No more of that. Instead, you come home and you settle in. You're getting your politics pants back on, and
Yes.
I'm curious how that's been because you came home at a time that was, right after this trip to Europe and all the political back and forth with that. But now you got, I don't know, it feels like things are heating up with who's going to lead the Democratic Party and win primaries and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we got debates, baby.
Yeah.
Debates at the end of the month. So here, I'll make this announcement here. I'm going to be doing live streams for both the debates, so you can watch along with the gerbs. And then I got a live show if you are in the Bay Area. Speaking of the Bay Area, on the 28th. So the debates are going to be 2 nights in Miami. I almost went down, but then because I have this live show, I didn't. You have the 2 debates in Miami, and then the next night, which will be the Saturday of Pride weekend out here in San Francisco. So if you ever wanted another reason to come down and see the big old parade the next day, then come on down, see your boy Gerbs at the Piano Fight Theater. Get your tickets, bit.ly/PX3Jude.
Ooh, nice. Cool. So at this, this is interesting because I'm finishing up about 4 days here of constant E3 co-coverage where I do this sort of thing over the top of stuff and listen to it. It sounds like a lot of what you'll be doing is that. Do you have any, I don't know, expectations? Like this first one in Miami, is there anything that's sort of a big deal about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, number one, it's a 2-night event. There have never been 2-night event debates before. Normally, they just jam 50 people up there on the stage. This time, because we've had so many of those, they are now doing 2 nights. Each of them will have 10 people, so it'll be a lot of people up on the stage. But here's the fun part. This Friday, I believe, at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York City, the home of NBC News, they are going to do a drawing where 9 people that have quote unquote double qualified. So the way that they're doing the line here on who gets on stage and who doesn't is either you have to qualify in 3 polls that are sanctioned by the DNC that you are polling at above 1%.
Okay.
And then there's a separate qualifying thing that you have to have 65,000 individual donors. So that is their way of measuring kind of grassroots support, that you're not just getting a bunch of money from a few people, you're getting a little bit of money from a lot of people.
From a lot of people, sure.
And so because 9 people have double qualified, meaning they've hit both of those, there are then 4 people that have no, wait, hold on. 13 have double qualified, but only 9 of them are have polled high enough that they are thought to be high polling candidates, and they will be split 5 and 4 on the 2 nights. The rest will be the misfits who have either single qualified or have polled low enough in like the single digits. They will fill out the other 20. And so now the fight is on to see there's one person who's like on the outside looking in that might trigger tiebreakers. So in case this wasn't clear enough for you, I can get into the tiebreakers of what happens past the 20 people that are currently qualified.
It strikes me that it's a bit of a loser's bracket, isn't it? Like it's not just hey.
Yeah, but they're going to be on the stage with everybody else. So it's not like the way that it happened before. Fox last year when the Republican field was jacked.
Yeah.
They decided to do kind of a pregame show. So they would have the big boys debate at 9 or whatever. And then they would do the JV debate at 7. And that proved to be a really quick way to have people start dropping out of the race or not appearing at the debates because nobody wanted to be at the JV debates. So the DNC decided like, oh, well, we can't have that. So we're going to do 2 nights. Also, there's the fact that nobody goes broke putting on these debates. So,
yeah, I was going to say, there's a bit of an enterprise going on. They'll all be fine.
Yeah, I think everybody, CNN, NBC has this one. CNN has the next one, and then I think it's ABC that has the one after that. So,
is Fox doing any of these or no?
No, and that was kind of a little bit of a controversy. Is that Fox News was like, "Hey, we want in. We want to do a Democratic debate," and the DNC said no, and so that's why Fox has kind of gone all in on doing these town halls, which have done like gigantic numbers. Like Bernie Sanders had the most watched town hall so far this season on Fox.
Yeah.
Because for some candidates, it's, going into the Lion's Den and speaking truth to power, and they wind up getting fairly favorable coverage because Fox wants to prove themselves that they are not just a hit piece organization, or at least their news division does.
Right.
Obviously, the Tucker Carlsons and Sean Hannity's of the world and Laura Ingrams are there to, get their shots off. But but so far the DNC has not relented to give them an actual debate.
Trying to decide whether that's going to bite them in the ass or not. I don't know. I mean,
the Democrats or Fox?
No, by Fox even. I mean, obviously Fox would like them to do it, and if they're denying them that, Fox isn't going to be happy, and then that gives a chance for their editorial people to go bananas on it. But what I mean is, like, for the voters, for those who are perhaps, I don't know, inclined to think that. I don't know if they may see the move as exclusionary, and them saying, well, we're not going to go on Fox because of reasons, and then that could be perceived by some, including myself, as like kind of dumb. Like, why would you do that? You can't just pick and choose your venue, go in there and stand up to them and answer hard questions, and then let it all end up the way it's going to end up. Like, I would prefer they not do that. I prefer they not ban Fox from doing any of these. I think they should just go ahead and have some debates on Fox.
No matter what they want to do, and the DNC is in a tricky position because they don't want. They are obviously playing to their constituency, so they don't want Fox is a very controversial topic amongst Democratic voters. So they have a weird minefield that they have to walk, but it has created a tremendous opportunity for candidates like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had probably one of his most memorable moments of his young campaign, which is one of the few things that you can put the phrases young Bernie Sanders. He asked this town hall, or I think it was Brett Baer asked the town hall, how many people would be willing to give up their health insurance, private health insurance, and get government health insurance. And in a Fox News debate, there was like an overwhelming show of support. And that's one of those things where that's a powerful moment. That rare in a campaign can you get a moment that tells a story. That was a moment that told a story that Bernie Sanders is not just a fringe socialist, that there are more people out in the world that want to hear his ideas and are sympathetic to them. And that's kind of important. And you don't usually get that by playing it safe. You get that by causing controversy and going into places that are kind of dangerous because people want to watch possible dangerous situations.
Yeah. It's interesting how closely Warren, Biden, and Bernie are all polling at the moment. I know you've been watching that. Do you think Elizabeth Warren actually has a snowball's chance in hell to beat these two?
I spent a large amount of time making fun of her because I thought her campaign was a total disaster from the jump, considering she, was running, but while she was still had an election to go during the midterms, she was running for her senatorial office as she was making her crazy, like, I'm 100 of 115th Indian, gotcha Trump. Like, that was weird. And then she just kind of had this like constant rat-a-tat-tat of these policies that didn't seem to be resonating, but really pushing for impeachment is the turning point for her numbers at the very least. She has not only rebounded, but she seems to have now fully sort of eclipsed Kamala Harris, who had been running ahead of her, at least in the early going. She is now looking around, at around the Bernie, the Bernie level. Bernie softened, but Biden softened too, at least in Iowa.
Yeah,
which is interesting. Biden had a bad week last week in his support of the Hyde Amendment, which, for those non-nerds, is a congressional federal ban on abortion, something that he has. Not federal ban on abortion, on funding of abortion. So then it gets into exactly how much of that federal money is going into the kind of vital services that pro-choice people would, find, especially now in these days, where states seem like they're making laws that are tailor-made to be a Roe versus Wade challenger in the Supreme Court. Joe Biden supported the Hyde Amendment for decades. And then he got a lot of crap for it, and then he flip-flopped. He backed it on up like a U-Haul truck and reversed like a several decades held situation, which is like, that's politics. He realized that was like this thing that he believed in for decades and decades was not going to benefit him going forward. So, to thunderous applause, he reversed his decision.
So he switched lanes. Crazy. Weird how that happens. People need to do what they need to do, I guess.
But yeah, so he had a bad week. Elizabeth Warren has had a series of good weeks. It's funny. She, it's pretty much whatever she says on Monday, Beto says on Thursday. His campaign is totally falling apart. But his new thing is like, I'm just going to repeat what Elizabeth Warren says 4 days later.
Do you think that dude who the conservative guy who's been talking smack at Trump and just quit the whatever conservative something caucus, whatever it is, do you think all the rumors are floating around that he's going to run on the Republican ticket and challenge the incumbent? Do you think that's true? Or do you think he's? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, look, I've said from the very beginning that the thing that Donald Trump would want the most in life is a primary challenger. I think he would love it. I think it would eviscerate any coverage that would go to the Democrats. And so if you are considering, the only real like tried and true tested national brand that's running is Joe Biden. If there was to be a Mayor Pete, if there was to be a Beto O'Rourke, if there was to be a Kamala Harris, they need time with the nation. They need time to have people cement their views, for people to see themselves in their campaigns, to understand what they're talking about. I think that Donald Trump would love what they call in boxing a tomato can, somebody that really doesn't have a shot, but we're going to pretend like they do anyway, so he can eviscerate them in. I think he would propose 50 debates. One debate every week until election day. In fact, let's just keep going after the convention. He wants to keep debating because the media will never be able to turn their eyes away from him.
Yeah.
We would talk about, everybody would get themselves worked up about how Justin Amash is the greatest person on the planet, and they wouldn't pay a lot of attention to somebody like a Mayor Pete whose numbers show that, like, look, if he wins in Iowa, he has a legit shot at this, and he's a young, new, fresh face. He will not get the press that he needs to survive. He will not get the oxygen and sunlight that he needs to flower if there is a primary challenger. IMO.
So if it's Justin Amash or not, that could be interesting. I feel like that guy could really stir things up, and I don't know what any of that means. I don't have the understanding of how this stuff plays out to even say.
They would have no shot. I mean, parties don't give up the presidency.
Yeah.
No matter how much the other party dislikes their president, they don't give it up. Like, you're there. Like, it's like saying, oh, I own a house, but everybody hates it. You want to know what the best thing would be? For me to move.
But this would be a chance for them to keep the house and not move and still have a Republican president.
You're risking incumbency. Nothing beats incumbency.
Yeah.
That's the nuts.
No, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. Bums me out, though. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of that being some crazy, oh my gosh, can you believe it?
I would. Geez, I mean, are you kidding me? I would love it. It would be fantastic. But again, it's like, I know when I'm setting up my newsletter, when I'm setting up my podcast, like, I see how much I pay attention to Trump. I see how much I pay attention to the campaigns of these challengers. I guarantee you, I would not pay as much attention. Nobody would pay as much attention if there was a primary challenger.
Yeah.
I think it would be, I think he would love it. Trump it'd be in hog heaven.
All right. Well, for you, I hope something weird like that happens, because I think it'd be fun for your coverage. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm having a great time with this Democratic primary. I think that there's a lot of stuff going on. They're actually fighting with each other, which was my frustration with Bernie and Hillary last time, where, I thought Bernie really had a shot if he had, he really just took his own cyanide capsule when he got up and said, like, I think people are done hearing about your emails. And it's like, all right, dude. I mean, like, either you want to win or you don't. Like, that's fine. But now they're trading paint. They're fighting with each other. Bernie's going pretty hard at Biden, saying that a middle of the road candidate is the fastest way to get Trump reelected, and that goes to the heart of Biden's kind of message, which is, I'm electable.
Right.
Look at me.
Right.
I've been on an elected ticket. I mean, sure, I wasn't the guy that they were voting for, but I was also there.
I was there. I was hanging around. You can see I'm in pictures. I can prove it, he says.
Yeah. So like, look, I think I think it's great. I think Elizabeth Warren has very much righted the ship. I like making fun of Beto. That's very fun for me. Yeah. And then I don't know. I really think that the Andrew Yang has a very Ron Paul kind of lane laid out for him. I think Andrew Yang's got a cult hero a future for him.
Interesting. I have not followed his stuff at all, so I have no idea what
he is characterizing, and this is where I think the debates are going to help him, because he's going to have a radical idea, which is the universal basic income. His point is, hey, look, nothing is going to hurt us worse than automation. Robots are already taking our job. We have radical economic displacement on our horizon, so you should get $1,000 a month. Every American gets $1,000 a month just to keep things moving. Now that would come at the cost of some welfare programs, but instead of having to qualify and filling out forms and then being at the whims of politicians, it would just be clean, a G in your bank account every month.
I'd take it, because what I would do is I would put that away, and so that when weird insurance things happen, I could cover that. See, that's how we do it in America. We don't do it logically. We just have backup plans for all the weird shit that's going to happen. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, but I think I'm always on the side of new ideas, at least in terms of, like, I think that they wind up being more important or more attractive to people than kind of the same old. And now we're going to have two versions of the same old. We've got a fairly homogenous group of very progressive ideals where everybody's kind of rushing to agree with Ocasio-Cortez's Twitter. And then you have Joe Biden, who's like, no, I'm an old-fashioned Democrat, and that's a moderate union man. And that's, then you have somebody weird like Andrew Yang, who's like saying, like, hey, here's robots are coming for your jobs. Here's $1,000 a month.
I also just like the sound of President Yang for some reason. It feels very future. Like we are in the future. An Asian American.
It is kind of a cyberpunky, like, like that's, if you were looking for shorthand, it would be like a child speaking Mandarin and President Yang. We're definitely in the future.
Yeah, I like that for some reason. All right. Well, this is all well and good. Of course, this and so much more can be had at the Politics, the PX3 show, which is a fantastic little show that's back now that you're back on the U.S. soil. Is there anything about that or anything else you want to point people to before we go?
Yeah. Free Political Newsletter at freepoliticalnewsletter.com. It's back. That's the only thing that went away during my trip to Italy was the Free Political Newsletter. But now
Tom couldn't handle that for you? Jeez.
No, I couldn't. I had Tom do so much.
Yeah. He does so much. And we ask so little. Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, so there we go. Free Political Newsletter at freepoliticalnewsletter.com. And if you're in the Bay Area, come see my show. bit.ly/PX3. That's the number 3 June.
And that's 28th, right? 28th of this month?
28th. By the way, that's a Saturday. I've normally done shows on weekdays. This is the first time I'm doing it Saturday, 7 o'clock. So we're going to have plenty of time to hang out afterward. We're not going to be drinking on a weeknight, which is always a disaster. Now it's going to be on a Saturday. Everyone's gonna have a good time, and one of the most fun weekends to be in San Francisco.
In theory, I could me or anybody else could show up in like a banana hammock too, because this is like Pride weekend. You can dress however you want.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, you are never going to be you're never going to be underdressed at Pride weekend.
You could.
I mean, you could. You could.
I mean, look, at this point, there's at no point is the a jack dude on stilts and in angel wings covered only in a banana hammock and body glitter going to shame you for your dress.
That's true. Well, good luck. We had a hell of a Pride Parade weekend thing last weekend here in Salt Lake, and apparently just blew the doors off in terms of record numbers and all the stuff that we usually get. So good luck, San Francisco. Let's see if you can be as good as Salt Lake City.
Top that.
Yeah, top that with your historically better things. All right, have a fantastic week. We'll see you later. Bye. All right. I still get to hang up on him once in a while, which is nice.
I know. Yeah. It's good. He's it's been a while, so that kind of probably caught him by surprise. I like that.
I feel like that was the way it should have been. All right, so that's it for the show. Now here's the deal, folks.
What's the deal?
Here's the deal. We'll be back tomorrow, but our normal time. So 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. What is that? 11 a.m. No, wait. Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern. So normal, back to normal if you're watching the live show. For all of you at home, it probably made no difference. Now, some of you are saying, Scott, where the hell did the YouTube version go from yesterday? In all of the rigmarole, I forgot to post it. Don't worry.
Oh, I honestly thought it was those clips of, what did we play clips from? There was something we played clips and we said, oh, there goes YouTube.
Yeah, and actually they did. They demonetized it for the day you're thinking of. It was, what did we play? Oh, we played part of the Phil Collins Tarzan thing is what it was.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that got that.
It was even a show title, yeah.
Yeah. So we're good today, and I'll put up the one I missed, so you'll get that today as well. And all is well. Brian, do you have anything going on today that we should let people know about?
I don't actually. I'm uploading. After the show, I'll be uploading. Otherwise, you'll hear me get choppy if I do it now. But uploading Bridget's interview with Alex for America's Next Top Podcaster.
Nice.
So you can find out what she thought of the whole experience. And I'm guessing, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm guessing it's going to be filled with expletives because that's Bridget.
Yeah.
I love Bridget for that.
She likes to swear. It's good.
There'll be that. The Avett Brothers soundography just went up this morning. So if you like the Avett Brothers and their particular brand of Americana, then that's at soundography.com. And then I'm just going to go lift. So if you're in the Denver area and you need to get from the First Bank Center down to the 7-Eleven, I'm your man.
Yeah, he's your guy. Also, if you stick around about 25 minutes from now, we will be doing the Nintendo show, Patrick and I. So stick around for that if you'd like. And
I wonder if I could listen to that in the car, if that would irritate people.
I don't know. That's interesting. It might, because we'll say things that are irritating. I'm sure the Nintendo show will be fine. But if you listen to just the raw stream, you'd probably be all right.
Dude, I feel like I should offer a prize to the first TMS listener that randomly ends up in my lift.
Oh, yeah. You should do... I don't know
like
what you do.
A TMS prize package for the first TMS listener that ends up in my lift.
I'm all in on that idea. That's a good one.
It'll be. I've got a couple T-shirts, some TMS T-shirts, some Coverville shirts. It'll be a big. And I'll extend it. I'll say it's any TMS or Coverville listener.
Would you put it in your car and have it there and ready?
I'd have to, right? Because it would have to be like. It'd be like Cash Cab, and I'd have to have lights go off.
Yeah, you gotta have sounds.
But it'd be in the trunk.
Right.
I'm not gonna have it sitting on the seat for months and months.
Just make this sound. That's all you need.
Oh, I make that sound while I'm lifting all the time.
Oh, good. All right. So be the first person to do that, and also check us out on the web. We are at frogpants.com/TMS. You might want to help us out. We need your support here on the show. It's how we make it. Patreon.com/TMS. That's patreon.com/TMS. Thanks to everybody who has already supported us. And advanced thanks for those who might decide to do it. Thank you very much. That's patreon.com/TMS. All right, let's get out of here. You probably have a song to play. What do you got?
I have a song in my heart. This one's going out to Kristen Eberens. She says, "Hey, Scott and Brian, I have a special song request in honor of my husband's first Father's Day this coming weekend. My husband, Nick, introduced me to TMS and Skim months ago when I was home on maternity leave. Our son, Max, was born January 2nd. We're so lucky to have the happiest baby boy around. He's also got a pretty rocking head of hair. Rub it in. We lovingly refer to it as a baby faux hawk. Just 3 months after having Max, I had to have knee surgery, which left me on crutches for a month with the new baby. Nick has been so wonderful with stepping up when I was somewhat out of commission. He took so much onto his shoulders at a very difficult time, and I'm forever grateful to him. He's such a wonderful daddy to Max, and I love seeing their relationship grow. I hope he has a great first Father's Day. He's definitely earned it." One of our favorite bands is the Dropkick Murphys. We saw them live together, and it was a heck of a show. Please play one of their songs or something similar of your choosing. You're a professional. I trust you. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Oh.
Aw. Well, sure. How could I say no to all that? This one came out on their Respect Your Roots Worldwide compilation 2013. It's a cover of one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. It's Badlands. Here are the Dropkick Murphys.
See you guys tomorrow. Wait, yeah, tomorrow.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Mom!
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 Mom! I'm going to be black.